Can a person buy an air mattress for Shabbat or Yom Tov that automatically reinflates when it starts to lose air? This is a question that I was asked from one of our rabbis in Chicago, and it particularly came up in the recent 3-day Yom Tov because air mattresses will tend to lose a good amount of air over that period of time. And this mattress is electric. You use an electric pump to blow it up before Shabbos. And when somebody lies on it and it slowly deflates, loses some of the air, the motor goes on and reinflates it so it keeps a steady level of air. Is that acceptable, or is that causing electricity to be triggered? And how might this be better or worse than the case of, let's say, opening a refrigerator drawer, which can cause the compressor to go on because of its exposure to hot air? So there are ways in which it's better and there are ways in which it's worse. It's maybe more obvious why it should be worse. In the case of the refrigerator, you open the door, and it's not necessarily the case that the compressor will go on. It depends how much warm air comes in and so on. It's certainly something that you're not paying attention to. And even more so, one could argue that it's not the opening that causes the compressor to go on. It is the absence of closing it. The opening really doesn't do anything. It doesn't even start like a series of processes. It just steps out of the way and lets other things cause it to go on. So there's a lot of grumma there. Whereas in the case of the mattress, the direct sitting directly pushes air out or lying down, and that will necessarily, at least to a certain degree, cause it to inflate. So there's much more causality there. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, I think that the case of the bed is actually better. Why do I think it's better? First of all, it's total mitasek. When it is going down, you are asleep. In the case of the refrigerator, you're there and you can close the door sooner or later. Here you lie on it, and assuming that it doesn't start reinflating immediately, there has to be a certain degree. Once you're lying or you're sitting and the pressure is maintaining the same level, it's not even going down and coming up, you are completely unaware, completely mitasek in terms of what is happening. That's number one. Number two is that one of the major problems of electricity is the uvda d'chol, the weekday aspect of it. You hear the electricity going on. It brings in this whole world of busyness, of technology, and so on. There's other issues as well, but that's certainly one, especially when it's grumma. And here, the motor is super silent, and you don't realize that anything is happening. So I actually think that this is fine, as long as you use it for sleeping and not sitting. Sitting, I think you're conscious during that time, and could be seen as less mitasek. Whereas if you lie down and go to sleep, I think that's quite different. So I actually think that this would be okay. Whether one should do this lechatchila, which should buy a different mattress, only use this mattress when it's a 2 or 3-day Yom Tov, I think those are interesting questions to ask, but I actually would put it on equal level, not much different, maybe somewhat better, maybe somewhat worse, but I think somewhat better than the case of the refrigerator. This is going to be the last tshuva video for the next while. We're going on a summer break, and I hope to be re-engaging all of you and learning Torah and learning tshuvot together in this coming Elul. Everybody should have a wonderful summer.